Hey guys, welcome to week 8 of Better Life. We are live from Lubbock, Texas, Brick and Loft Realty, and we are going to talk about networking today. And we've talked about a lot of different things. We've started with better education, we moved into better data, better assets and strategies, better math and debt, which is important because of the interest rates that just went up, better teams, better leadership, better networking, or better mentoring, our marketing, and now we're going to roll right into better networking. So I think it's going to be great. I think I say this every time. We're going to talk about one of my favorite things, and I think that every single week's been my favorite. But this one is one of my most favorite things because it's one of the reasons that I have been able to expand my growth over the last 5 years, and that's through networking. We're going to talk about better networking. And excuse me, my cough is still a little there, so sorry about that. But when I talk about better networking, so let me clear the slate real quick. One of the things that I start my own networking events with, and every other networking event that I've been to over the last several years, is that the first thing you realize is you spend a lot of time not even talking about real estate. Real estate is critical, it's what we're here for, and that's what this class is for. But we spend, like for instance, when I go to the Maui Masterclass, for example, or the Maui Mastermind, or one of Brandon Turner's social media masterclasses, we will spend a day or two, or even half the time, doing activities with one another, doing goal work with one another, talking about life and just getting to know each other, and just different things that we are all about in regards to our mindset before we even talk about real estate at all. And the faster you can get to that place with your goal setting on building out your portfolio of real estate, being that you're looking at your goals and you're looking at your mindset and you're looking at your network, the more you focus on those at the very beginning, the faster you're going to realize your real estate portfolio will grow. And because you're just going to be opened up to so many possibilities and so many people, that you're just going to be set up so much better for so much faster growth and success if you were coming to this only expecting to talk about real estate. We started with that a little bit just because we wanted to lay the groundwork and some of the foundations, but this probably should have been one of the first classes. I put it closer to the end for a reason, but networking it's everything. It is absolutely everything. We can all go out and buy as many houses as we want and find the deals ourselves and grow ourselves and even bring on partners and grow with our partners. But there's nothing better than getting deals handed to you and just getting to know people that are at a way higher level than you, and then just working with all throughout the network and the spider web of people you'll meet through those networking events, and just realize how much easier it can be and more fun it can be if you let that happen. So networking should be everything, and you should invest quite a bit in networking. You should probably invest just as much into networking events and networking opportunities as you are in your real estate, especially early on in your career. So that's kind of the groundwork of laying the foundation of what we're going to talk about today. But this class will be a little bit shorter, and then again, I'm going to try to find some time at the end. I always say that, and I always fail, but there's just not as much material today because networking is pretty cut and dry. So I actually tried to get more material just because it is just really basic, but very important. So again, outside of having the right mindset is number one. You can find every deal till you're blue in the face, buy as much real estate till you're blue in the face, and just keep going and going and going, but you'll ultimately sell it all, fail, get frustrated, and just quit if you don't have the right mindset. So mindset is very first. You have to have the right mindset at the very beginning. You can build that throughout time, but it's better to have it at the very beginning. And then second to mindset is your network. Your the whole saying that you're just like the 4 or 5 people you spend the most time with. Your network is your net worth, all that kind of stuff. It's absolutely true. And it's cheesy, but it's so, so, so true. Anybody that has been around entrepreneurs long enough, we should rub off on you to an extent where that's all you want to be around. So I think it does matter. So outside of having the right mindset, the most crucial aspect of positive and faster and easier growth is towards your financial freedom is through better networking. So networking is a crucial part of your business to be successful in, have a successful career in real estate. And then we're going to talk about some effective ways that you can network. And then I'm going to give you some tips on when you do find that right person to network with or the right group, what you can actually start building out, like just your resume in your head for when you're talking to these people. So because you want to be somebody that adds value to somebody. You don't want to network with somebody, because we're always trying to network up, right? I network as high as I can. I network with multi-millionaires and above, and I try to reach just get into their brain to figure out what they're all about. So we're always trying to network up most of the time. So we definitely network out and we can network down, but we definitely network up. And when you're networking up, you want to provide value to the person or persons that you're talking with, the organizations you're talking to. The worst thing that you can do is be a time thief to the people you're trying to get time from. So add value, make it so you are easy to be around and valuable to be in their presence, and just make sure it's genuine and that you're actually helping them out rather than just like extracting information from them for free just for yourself. So I've learned that that will not get you very far at all. So definitely add value. So the first thing that I want to talk about, and this is one of the most important, is attending industry events. So attend industry events such as conferences, trade shows, masterminds, master classes, seminars, to meet other professionals in the industry. This is a great way to stay current with industry trends and connect with other professionals. The best thing about this is that you are getting to know people that are like-minded. So I talked about mindset, and the people you hang around with are the people you're going to be most alike. And just think if you just only hung out with your family. Just think of your family, your siblings, your parents. What if you only hung out with those people your entire life? What would you be like? Not to say that they're bad people at all, but let's say you have you're an individual. You have individual goals. You have individual desires. You have individual wants. You want something specific for yourself. But what if you were only surrounded by those people, because their goals and what they want in their life are probably pretty different than yours? Do you think that you're going to be successful if that's the only people that you spent time with? So I know I wouldn't in my own family. I think about my siblings. My dad, love him to death, but they are not entrepreneurs. They don't go after big goals. They are regular 9-to-5 workers, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not for me. But if I was around that all the time, I wouldn't be where I am today. So instead, I have attended events throughout the years and have found people that think just like me. It's very interesting when you pay for a master class, for example, and you get put in a room with 30 other people, 29 other people. The classes I go to usually have 30 to 40 people. And the 29, 30 other people or whatever, it's very interesting to find out that all of them at some level think exactly like you do. I mean, we all have different pockets of expertise. We all have different asset classes we invest in. We all have different approaches to how we get there. But the deep down, like the mindset of what we're trying to accomplish and how we manage risk and how we are hungry for what we want, it's all the same. And it's very refreshing to be around those people. Now, to find that many people, like-minded people, just going through life is actually pretty difficult to do. It's even really difficult to do if you're at a really big conference with, thousands of people. But it's very easy to do if you find a really good networking event and you go to it. And we've all heard that, you're paying for friends or whatever, and there's definitely some truth to that. But for me, who spent, I've told you guys, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 just in the last couple of years on networking events, they are some of the best friends that I've met in my entire life. And I am older than a lot of the people probably watching this video. So it took me that long to find all these people, but they are some of the best people I've ever met. I have some of the strongest relationships with these people, and they inspire me to do way better and way more in my life than I did even before meeting them. And that was, I spent 30 years looking for people like that. So in just a short amount of time and a little bit of money, a little bit of an investment, I paid to go to some of these events, and it changed my life. And that was after this was after I owned up to 650 units. I had already done $350 million of transactions. I'd already done all of that. And still, after all of that, I paid to go to these events, and I still met people that inspired me to do better. So that should be saying something. If that's not an endorsement to go to some of these events, I don't know what is. So, and some of the events that I've been to that I've loved, and not everybody can get into these. I know that the cost barrier is high, and the experience level is high, but there are some that are very good that are a lot cheaper that you should try to get to. So I'm part of the State Bar of Texas events. It's a real estate club where we talk about real estate law. So that one is actually fairly inexpensive, but it's very valuable to me. I'm in the Maui Master class, the Maui Mastermind. This tribe is a networking event. If you're not utilizing Circle and your pods and Alex and Matt and everybody involved with Better Life to get to know more people, if you just go to that Circle app, you can create different venues for your own city and try to get people to come together. And if you don't want to do it local, you have access to everybody and you can do something virtual. So you have a whole bunch of people, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I don't know how many members they have now, but I know it's in the thousands. There's so many people there that you have access to all the time that you could be reaching out to. And you may not get much traction right away, but if you have something to add, some value to give to people, and you bring people in, then you will eventually get that traction and you will build something out. So use it. Use your pod. Use your friends that are in Better Life as a good example. Use the Circle app. They've invested a lot of time and energy in the Circle, and you just go through it and look at everything that's going on, the questions that are answered, the meetups that are in there, create a new meetup if you don't see one. It's fantastic. So highly recommend using Better Life and leveraging Better Life to your advantage as much as possible. I've been to Brandon Turner's goal-setting events that he's done, Taro Yarber's goal-setting events, Jason Drees's goal-setting events. We do local real estate investment meetups. I'm launching a new business right now that's going to have them here locally in Lubbock at a high level. Of course, I've been to the Bigger Pocket stuff. And then I have one, the Real Estate Investor Retreat Network, where we do the same thing. So if you just Google in your own area or at a high level some of these networking events, if you have any questions about their authenticity and the people that are running them, just send me a note. I will look and see if I know them, because there's some that very, very much are, and there's some that just probably aren't. So that's probably one of the things that keeps people on the fence is, first, they're not cheap, and second, you don't want to go to the wrong one. So that's what Better Life Tribe is for, is I don't think that the higher-ups that are running Better Life are going to steer you in the wrong direction. So, in fact, I have an agent here that wanted to do another person's high-level training class. This is somebody that everybody knows. I'm not going to name his name, but a very high-level, very expensive Instagram influencers training program. I think it was like $50,000. I don't know this person individually, so I asked Brandon and a few other people that Brandon knows, what do you know about this guy? Because I know Brandon knows him very well. What are your true feelings about this guy and his program and what he's offering? And Brandon gave him a great endorsement. So I told my agent, hey, this is probably somebody you should look into, if and just go that way. So ask people if you feel like something is too good to be true. Maybe it is, but maybe it really isn't. So just vet them and find out for yourself if it's something that you should be doing. So, but networking events are huge. And just as a disclaimer, when you do go to these networking events, like all the ones that I've been to, for example, you're not going to spend a whole lot of time on real estate. You're not going to walk in and have people just be like, okay, how many doors do you own? What's your net worth? What's this? What's that? It's a totally different level of thought. And you're going to spend time talking about your vulnerabilities. What makes you weak? What makes you strong? What's your goals? How's your life going? What are your kids doing? What's your spouse doing? What's your partner doing? You're going to talk about a lot of that kind of stuff. And they're going to try to bring it all in. The good ones are going to try to bring it all in for you to understand how important that is first, and then eventually you're going to get to real estate. And also, it's just team building with the people that are there and building relationships. Like when I go to the Maui classes, for example, we spend a lot of money on it, but Brandon, who runs it, actually probably doesn't even make that much money on it, because he and Tarl actually spend a ton on us to do amazing things, amazing activities for us to build relationships with one another. They don't just hold these events and just rake in money. They actually spend probably almost all of our money on going out and doing amazing activities that we love, and just the vacation and the feel and the vibe, it's just amazing. So not only are you getting a good education out of it, but you're building awesome relationships and you're doing fantastic things while you do it. So some of those events are even better. So the price tag should not deter you if the right person is running it, is what I mean by that. Join organizations is the next thing. So join professional organizations and non-professional organizations in your area or even nationally. Do you have one? If you don't, you should create one. You can do that through the Circle app. You can, if you're in Dallas, Texas, for example, I haven't looked for Dallas, but I bet Dallas, if there's not in there for Texas, if you're in Dallas, go to the Circle app, get with whoever's running it. I don't know if Alex is running it or somebody else is. Tell them you want to create something. You might be able to even create it yourself, and try to get people in Dallas to meet up and call it whatever you want to call it, local real estate club. I know that Omni, he's one of the guys in the Better Life Tribe, and he's a fellow Maui Masterclass guy. He has a breakfast club type of environment where you can actually talk to him and invest in his business in your area. So you take his model and pay him. It's kind of, I don't know everything about it, but it's somewhat similar to a franchise, and you put his model that's already packaged in your area, and you don't have to do a lot of the work other than obviously pay Omni to help you set it up. So there's pretty cool ideas just with what he's doing, and you have access to him right in Better Life. So that's a good example. He's a good guy, very trusted guy, and you should look into that. So that's one example. If you don't have one in your area, or if you do have one in your area, it doesn't, and you think it's lousy, like we have one here and it's lousy. That's why I'm building a new one. Compete with the lousy one, or talk to them and see if you can make it better by teaming up with them and building something out. So you could be part of your local and state stuff. If you're a professional, attorney, CPA, financial planner, real estate broker, real estate agent, all those have associations. Become part of those associations and network with those people. And then do meetups. Build up your meetups. Get to know people there. Let's see, I lost my screen. Hold on one second, guys. There we go. Meetups are fun. If you're doing one, and let's say you don't have one in your area and you want to start one, hold one, you can do them really cheap. Just tell people that you're going to meet at 7 o'clock and reserve an area, or do it in your backyard, do it at a restaurant, whatever. and then just spend $100 or $200 on some pizzas or something, or just tell them to buy their own stuff. You know, just try to build something out, and I guarantee that you'll start to build traction with things in your area, because that's how you're going to meet a lot of people. And I've talked about it like at the beginning. You can do all this on your own, but it is a lot faster and more fun to network with people to get to financial freedom. You'll get there a lot faster if you do it this way. And then just the people you'll meet along the way will be tremendous to you. So I have on here to volunteer for community events. It's never a bad idea to be somebody in your community that actually gives back and represent your business. It's not bad to represent your business by volunteering for things in your community to make it a better place. You'll meet a lot of people doing that, and just get with your Chamber of Commerce as well, and just try to be that pillar in your community that does good things for those around you. Social media, we talked a lot about that last week. We're not going to spend a ton of time on social media today, but it is the most practical way for you to network with people at a very low cost. Now, when I say using social media for networking, it's not just posting about you and what you're doing. You need to engage with the people that you like on social media. So if you follow somebody that you enjoy their content, I follow a lot of people that are doing way cooler things than I'm doing, and I engage with all of those people all the time. I will, and it sounds silly, but I will like their post. I will comment on their post. I will share their posts. It makes a big difference, not only to grow their audience, and like you're adding value. I talked about not being a time thief, and add somebody value. So you're showing them that you have some loyalty with what they're showing by sharing everything they're putting out. And then they actually see it too, and they're going to see that you're somebody that actually genuinely cares and likes what they're producing. So most of these people have social media managers, and most of these people are not posting on their own, but I guarantee you they're all reading everything. They're reading the comments, they're reading the likes, they're reading the data, they're reading the professional dashboard that you pull down and seeing who's what's what. And if they're not doing it themselves, they're with their team and they're doing it. So they know, believe me, they know. Even people like Brandon, he knows. They know that what's happening. Show some value, be genuine, add value, and just network. Just network as much as possible with that. It's so easy to do. Just set aside half an hour a day and just go through the people that you like to work with, and just share their stuff, and just like their stuff, comment on their stuff, and it'll go a long way. So so don't just post on social media. Don't just use it as entertainment. Actually consume it and use it as it should be intended. We're all business owners at some extent. Even if you own one rental property, you're a business owner, or you should think that way, and utilize social media to do that. And all platforms, you know, I mean, Instagram's my favorite. I love YouTube. I don't like Facebook. I don't like TikTok. I don't know much about Threads yet. I don't really care for Snap when it comes to professional stuff, but I use all of them anyway. So Kyra, I'm looking at, we found out that I had a TikTok and she was posting on the wrong TikTok. So we're not even on the same page. So that's why I don't like TikTok. But she fixed it. So anyway, but like we're posting on everything, even though some of them are way better than others. But use them all. Use them all. Because you never know who's watching and where. Because different consumers of social media like different things. Some people that absolutely love TikTok hate Instagram, and vice versa. So if you're trying to get your message out and you're trying to network with people, you're trying to tell all the wholesalers in your area that you have money and you want deals, they may not be on one platform or the other. So you want to make sure you do that. Ask questions. Send messages to these people as well. Like, don't be afraid this is, so funny story. Well, not funny story. Funny story to me. So I have a 9-year-old kid, and he loves Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, if you don't know, is an NFL quarterback. Probably going to be the GOAT someday. But he's played here in Lubbock, Texas Tech University. And I don't let my 9-year-old have Instagram, but he's always on mine. and he follows Patrick Mahomes on my Instagram. And he always sends, I think he sends Pat Mahomes a message almost every 3 days. And every single message has been unread. So, and I don't know if they'll ever be read. But the flip side of that, and this is what I'm working on in the back end, one of my mentoring clients is a tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs and plays with Patrick Mahomes. And this guy is going to try. It's kind of funny. So another side story to that is Patrick Mahomes has more security. Like when they went to the White House, I heard like the backstory. Patrick Mahomes had more security than the Secret Service did. So getting access to Patrick Mahomes off the football field, even as a teammate, as a tight end for the same team, is actually extremely difficult. So he's working his way in, and hopefully I'm going to get one of these questions answered for my 9-year-old. So now that's not the level I'm talking about. I just wanted to go off on a tangent. But you can ask anybody questions on social media. You can connect with anybody in the world through social media. All these real estate influencers that you're talking to or that you're following, if you ask the right question, no matter who they are, they're going to answer you. I've had questions answered by Grant Cardone. It probably wasn't Grant, but somebody on his team answered my question. You never know who's going to actually get back to you and answer your question. So you never know how it's going to get filtered up too if it's an intelligent question and they see that you're genuine with what you're trying to get to. So ask a lot of questions. That's a great way to network. Add value though. Don't just be a time thief. Add some value. I feel like I kind of went off on that Patrick Mahomes thing, but it's kind of fun. I look at it every day and I hope that it's going to happen. So build relationships with others. Build solid relationships with other professionals in the industry, such as mortgage broker. Okay, I'm not going to read all that. You can read that. But this goes back to the teams, and this has some solid examples of networking. And you know my hierarchy on this, especially for all of you that are investing outside of your market, which is probably most of you, with rates even going up even more. You need a fantastic real estate agent or broker. You need somebody that invests, that knows everybody else. They're going to get you in contact with partners, with lenders, with insurance agents, with property managers, with contractors, with title companies, with lawyers, with accountants, with wholesalers, and with other investors. So the best real estate agents in any market is going to know all those people already, and they're going to know multiple amounts of those different types of different people that I just mentioned, and you'll be able to pick and choose. So make your job really easy. Don't try to save money by buying a property and saving the commission that should go to a real estate agent. They have their value. You let the real estate agent be paid and shortcut you to get access to all the people. Because I hear, as a real estate owner of a real estate brokerage and broker of the real estate brokerage, I hear that all the time. That, you know, especially when like a big commission is paid or whatever, and the real estate agent didn't do anything for it, and that's just because you didn't hire the right real estate agent. Because it's not about how much time it takes them to make their $30,000 on your $1 million property. It's all the resources that they have accumulated over many, many years that they're putting to work on your deal. So I hate that argument. It's silly. It's kind of similar to the paying the $10,000 contractor that can finish in 3 hours rather than the $2,000 contractor that can finish in 3 days. So you pay for somebody that's done it over and over and over and over again at a high level. So that's what you need to do. That's a really good, sure way to start your networking and build something out really good. And then this last slide is just host events. Do your own. We talked about it. I'm not going to talk about it again because there's a couple other things I want to get to. But check Circle, check the Better Life Tribe pods, talk to people within Better Life, and let Better Life, if Better Life, the pods or whatever, if you're not getting the value for some reason, I think they're great value, but if for some reason you feel like something is missing, first of all, it's on you. And then second of all, build out, use it as your advantage and build your own real estate meetup in your area, leveraging the Better Life Tribe. that, I think, in its own right, will give you tremendous value on your networking and building out your portfolio of real estate. So, yeah. All right. So how do you network? The slides are done. I'm going to talk about a couple things. I'm going to talk about two things. I'm going to talk about how to network. Like, so let's say you found that group, you found that person. How do you do it? Like, if you're shy, introverted like me, how do you do it? How do you get past not knowing how to talk to somebody that's done hundreds of $1 million of deals if you've done your first deal? What do you do? And how do you add value? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that first, and then second, I'm going to talk about not being a time thief with the people that you're working with. So, but before we do that, any questions on what we talked about so far? I'm going to give a minute to see. Let's see if I can go to Q&A here. That's not working. Let's click this. There we go. Okay, I've got the chat up. For some reason I never know how to do that, never remember how to do that. But if there's any questions, go ahead and shoot them over to me as we go. All right. Anybody on here a solid, experienced networker that knows everything that needs to be done with networking? Because it is an art to be able to do it very well. Anybody like me that fumbles and gets socially awkward and doesn't really know how to handle themselves in group settings with people they've never met before? Because that's 1,000,000% me. Nobody wants to claim anything today. Usually the webinar chat's pretty active. Oh, they are? I can't see that. Okay. I don't know what you raise your hand to, but I'm sure that most of you guys are like me, because it's really hard, actually, to really know what to do when it comes to networking. So my example is like when I first met my Maui people, I call them my Maui family. It's a big part of my life, so you probably hear me talk about it a lot. There was 30 of us. I've been several times now, but a few years ago was my first event. And everybody going in doesn't know anybody else. When nobody knows anybody, everybody kind of feels like an imposter. At first you kind of fill each other out and like kind of learn what everybody's done. And I learned very quickly that I was by far one of the biggest investors in the group, but still that did not settle me and make me overcome my social awkwardness and just kind of like get into the groove of getting to know people. And these are week-long events. It took me not even the entire first event, which was a week. I made some friends, obviously, but it was like the next year and then throughout the year. So the cool thing, let me back up. The cool thing about the networking events that I've paid for and gone to, what we've done throughout the year in between the events is we've broken apart and had our own events where we just show up and book big Airbnbs and get together. And we've done that several times throughout the year, every year that we've done this. And that's where I kind of build up the camaraderie throughout the years. And then the second year that I went to the Maui Masterclass, it was far better and I knew everybody and it was just different. So for those of you that are like me and don't handle yourselves well, regardless of how much success you've had, there's a lot of hope. You just got to stick with it, because that's totally me, and I'm finally over that. But the cool thing about finding the right group, like a really reputable group, they're more expensive, but that they're ongoing, that they try to continue to put the same groups of people together throughout every year, and then you build your rapport and relationship with them throughout the year, even without the group meeting, and you just do your own events. So that's what's good about the more expensive ones, the higher level ones, the ones with people that are really like-minded and have the funds to travel around. It's very worthwhile. So, so how do you do it? You have a clear goal. You got to know what you want to do. You have to know exactly what you want to do. You don't want, not exactly. I mean, we all branch off. We're entrepreneurs, so we all have shiny object syndrome. But deep down, you got to know exactly, like somewhat exactly what you want to do, right? I mean, you can't. It's hard to have a goal, a fixed goal, if we're just veering off all the time. So you got to know what you want at some level. And then start with who you know. Start with the people that are around you that actually are doing the things that you want to do, and not in a negative way. Start to eliminate or downplay, not cut off, but just kind of weed out and not just kind of maneuver over. I don't like to say push out of your life, because that's not what I'm saying, but just kind of make way in your own life away from the people that aren't doing what you want to do. Because networking goes two ways. The people that you want to be like are going to make you thrive, and if you keep the people that are holding you down in your life, you're going to be just pushed down. So you want to pivot to the people that are making it better, and find a way to tactfully and lovingly or whatever deal with the people that are keeping you down. It's really hard. That's why, like when I talked about like hiring people and building out partnerships or whatever, you don't do it with your best friend, you don't do it with your brother-in-law or sister-in-law or cousin's nephew or whatever, because it doesn't work. Attend networking events, we talked about that. Use social media a ton. Join your professional organizations. Master the elevator pitch. I hate that saying, but that's the only way I know how to say it. Water cooler pitch or elevator pitch or whatever. One of the most awkward situations that you're going to find yourself in, I find myself in this all the time, because I'm a lawyer, I'm a business owner, I'm a real estate broker, I'm a real estate investor, I'm a flipper, I'm all these things. And when somebody asks, what do I do? I never know what to say. So I've just started to tell people I'm unemployed. And that just gets like, it kind of gets a little laugh, and then it kind of just veers into me being able to explain a little bit more about what I do. So that's more fun for me. And then, but have that like down, your elevator pitch down. Just have it as down as you possibly can, and be able to explain that to people in a succinct and smart, intelligent way, so they understand what you're talking about. Be genuine. This is like so critical. Is you want to absolutely be genuine with what you're doing. Don't be fake. Don't take their time. Don't be a time thief. Just go in with like the best intentions to try to help them help you. Being genuine will get you so far. Ask open-ended questions. Don't just go in and just expect them to give you. Just don't go in there. Don't go in and just extract information from people. Ask open-ended questions. Offer something as well. Get to actually know the person you're talking to. Listen to them, because the opposite of speaking is waiting to interrupt. That's what most people see as communication. Don't do that. Listen and actually find out what they're all about, and try to offer some value. Show appreciation. It's so important. Just like don't just take their time and then have expectations, and then whether or not you got what you wanted or not, just show some appreciation. One of the things that, I like to think that out of all the hundreds of people that Brandon could have asked to do this class, one of the reasons he chose me is because we've built that relationship over the years. We've built a friendship. It's not just me going to his events. There's so many people that go to his events, and there's people that go to a lot of other events that he does, but he asked me to do this class, and this is the first one that he's done. And I like to think that it's because I've shown him appreciation over the years, and that I've been genuine with him, and that I've engaged with him in a positive way. So do that with people, and I think that you'll go really far with what you're trying to accomplish. And then follow up with people. Don't just like take their time. Even if you're adding value, just follow up. Just be that good friend, partner, steward of the relationship, and follow up with people, because it will go a far way. And if anybody wants these, I'm happy to give these to you, these write-ups that I've done. This isn't on the slides. I'm happy to give them to you, and you can have them. And then the next thing and the last thing before we get to some questions, and I know there's a couple here, is the best way to add value. So we talked about how to network, but how do you add value to somebody? Like what, if you've never done a deal and you're talking to somebody that's done 300 deals, like how do you add value to them? You know, so it's tough because I deal with people that have done 10 times as many deals as I've done. And how do I add value to somebody that's worth $500 million? It's not easy. Like what can I possibly offer them? So you have to find ways to think outside the box and offer some value to people. So adding value to someone you admire can help foster meaningful and professional relationships, and there are several effective ways to do this. Okay, offer very, very specific assistance. Don't just be general and broad with what you're trying to do. Find specific ways that you could help them do something. Even if it's like, did you save them an hour in their day? Did you offer whatever? Just do something that can be of specific assistance. Try to identify their needs and see how your skills and experience can meet those needs. So I have one of my friends that I don't know her extremely well, but she's part of the social media. She's a Better Life member, and she's part of the social media group that I do with Brandon. And she is a very, very, very high-level CPA all over the country. She has big clients. And she has given me so many little tidbits of information, just off the cuff, off the side, that she didn't have to give. And then I have returned it with different favors in regards to building a big portfolio of real estate or legal work or whatever. So I think I have been on the way better end of the information that has been given than I've given her, just because she doesn't need the information I give her as much as I've needed it from her. But I'm still trying to find ways to give value. But that's a good way that she's given me value. It's been tremendous. And it's all because of relationships. It's free stuff that she could easily charge me, $500 an hour to extract. So it's just building those relationships. So specific assistance. One of the things and this is on social media quite a bit. You guys have all seen these memes of people. There's two different types of mindsets, right? There's people that have, let's say you're friends with somebody that owns a restaurant. Your best friend or whatever owns a restaurant. There's two schools of thought on the mindset. You could be the friend that expects a discount every time you go to the restaurant because they're your friend. Or you could be the friend that goes and wants to pay full price and give them value and tip their servers well and buy extra to just make their life better. Don't be the friend that wants to get the discount. That's terrible. It's a terrible way to live. Don't expect, just because your best friend owns something or provides something to the general public, that you should get it for less or at a discount. Be the friend that actually goes to that establishment or works with that friend and pays full price and then more because you genuinely want to support your friend. So support their work in everything that they do. Don't be the guy that wants the discount. Share useful information. Send along articles, books, quotes, and other pieces of valuable information. Make sure it's relevant to their field, interests, and challenges. I talked about how the CPA has given me information before. So provide feedback. And this is a good way to do it either through the DMs or through just commenting on their social media. And I keep talking about social media because that's everybody's front door now. It's not their website, it's their social media handle. And that's a way to publicly say thank you to somebody that you find their information valuable to you. So it does help. Engage with their content. We talked about that. Do that every day. It's so easy. And then show appreciation. Show genuine appreciation for what they're doing. And that goes back to the whole restaurant deal too. Like, don't expect something for less because your best friend's doing it. You should show appreciation and pay more, or full price or whatever. So remember, the ultimate goal of adding value should be support the other person without expecting anything in return, a discount. Genuine altruism often leads to relationships that are rewarding for both parties. Okay, questions. I told you we'd have time. Look at that. I've never finished with 13 minutes to spare. It's usually like 3.5. Okay, so people are learning to network, socially awkward. I feel you. I'm there. I'm still there. You can probably see it through the through, through these videos. What's been your favorite event you have been to, and why did you like it? Um, so the Maui master classes are obviously hard to beat. I mean, they're in Maui. Uh, they're run by Brandon and Tarl Yarber. If you don't know Tarl, follow him. He's fantastic as well. Uh, they they're just awesome because first of all, you're in Maui. It's paradise. It's beautiful. We're staying at most amazing resorts on the island, and Brandon and Tarl, vet people that tend to be the best and most needed for the 30 or 40 people they're seating in the class. So they're very thoughtful on who they put in there. And guess what? Not everybody's a big real estate investor. Some of these guys that were a part of this class, I think there was like a 19-year-old in one of my classes that was just barely starting out to some extent, and fantastic kid. So they vet everybody for different reasons, and it's just amazing. So my kids just came in. Sorry, but that's been the best one. Is the Maui one, and then of course the events that they have us do while we're there. We're not just spending a lot of money to just be in a room. We're at the best resorts, some of the best resorts in the world. We're going on massive boat rides. We're doing awesome events, and it's all with people that are just like you and I that have the same like-mindedness to crush goals. So you just can't beat that environment, and you can't beat the camaraderie of the people that are there. So, and sometimes the more you spend, the better they are. Let's see. What value do you try to add when you are networking up? And again, it's really hard. You have to, and it's going to be different for everybody, but you have to know some specific needs of that individual. And sometimes they don't have it, and they don't show it because they're so high up that you just have no idea how to help them. But trial and error is one way. Is just continue to ask questions. You're not going to be a bother. I mean, it's social media, so they're used to people constantly hitting their content. So if you're asking questions and different questions, weekly, you're not going to. It doesn't matter. I mean, after a day, it's forgotten anyway if it's not answered, right? So you go back the next day and ask another question, and then ask another question, and then ask another question, and just keep going. Just be consistent and genuine. That's what I would do, and that's what I have done. Because it's not going to be a nuisance to them. They're on social media to engage with people. They want to be seen. They want you to see their content. They want you to engage with the content. You're never, ever going to bother them unless you're being hateful or negative or just a jerk. So if you're genuine and just have a really good positive vibe towards that person, you just need to continue to try. You just need to continue to keep going. So that's what I would do. Just be relentless, but tactful and genuine. And I think you'll get what you want eventually. That's why I know that Pat Mahomes is going to reach out to, he's waving to me. My kids all just came in. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, that's why I know that if I keep asking Pat Mahomes different questions, he's eventually going to respond to him with help of the other player on the team, of course, though. But it'll still be awesome. I'll screenshot that for you guys when that actually does happen. So, any other questions? All right, guys, I'm going to give you 7 minutes back. And 7 minutes early. And then I'll let you guys know, we'll let you guys know about next week. Well, we won't, but we'll just start next week, and we'll have a lot of content for that. So, anyway, thank you. Hit me up on Circle. Hit me up on Instagram @TexasEntrepreneur, and I am happy to answer anything that you have coming up.